when I look back over all the decisions I've made in my life, everything always comes back to being a teacher. My mom even has a hope chest in her bedroom where there was an assignment from when I think I was in like 2nd or 3rd grade. And the project was, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, I want to be a mom and I want to be a teacher. I think one of the first things that I really remember is my school wanting to hold me back in 1st grade because I was not up to par with Texas standards. And that really stuck with me because I never really felt like I was up to par. In 7th grade, I had a teacher, Miss Vecchio. She was my English teacher, and she was just the coolest person I've ever met in my life. She was the first person to make me feel like what I had to say was worthwhile. She was the first person to make me feel like I had something to say and that the things that I said mattered. That's always really stuck with me as I work through my classroom now.
We were looking for ELAR teachers, and so Amanda was one of the applicants that applied. And immediately we loved all of her answers and most of all, how she was committed to her closing gaps. She gave real examples of how she's done it in her previous school. And so I was excited that my kids were going to be able to benefit from that.
Have you met my principal? Because she met me and she latched on. She's like, you're the one that I want. And I was like, okay. But I told her very honestly in the interview, I don't know if middle school is for me because I've never taught it before. And she just told me point blank, you are great, you're gonna do this, and we will get you there. And I was like, okay. I was terrified.
She's the best teacher. I'm glad she did go to Teacher of the Year. You know, she deserves to be there. Like some days I didn't want to be here, and I was like, I don't want to be here. But I came to her class, went to every class, and she just made like the rest of the day be better. Like just of her just teaching me.
These 3 years are kind of fundamental for them. And it's really awesome to be part of the process that they go through and just watch them go through it and just support them along the way. You can't get that anywhere else.
She tries to personalize with the students, and like every once in a while she tries to like add a fun activity and just make class seem like a fun, safe place.
She had a monolingual, a student that speaks only Spanish. And Amanda, we created her lesson plans both in English and in Spanish for this student. Amanda doesn't speak Spanish. So she used the Google Translator, she used her resources so that her student would be sitting in a classroom learning next to their peers and understand the content. At the beginning of the year, that student was at the very bottom, and now in the winter has risen to the top. And so that's because Amanda Davis went the extra mile to make sure that that student didn't sink.
Whenever you take the time to invest in the parents and invest in the community that you are creating in your room every year, every parent, every kid, you're gonna get that back tenfold. And it matters. It matters to the parents, it matters to the kids. You know, I think that one of the happiest times I've ever had was watching my first group graduate. And one of the saddest times I've ever had as a teacher is watching one of my kids be buried.
Humility is one of her most evident traits, and that how she conducts class. She's not a teacher who's just bossing kids around and being ego-driven. To do what she does at any school would be crazy and amazing, but to do it here is really, it's a feat.
Being a teacher isn't easy. I could see from like kids that I know don't give teachers like the easiest time, and the fact that she could put up with that and still be the upbeat, charismatic person that she is, I feel like that's like, wow.
You see her at school and you're like, wow, she's an amazing teacher. She's also an amazing mom and an amazing wife. Like, she does anything and everything she can to be there for her family. And if people just see her at school, they just be like, wow, okay, awesome. But outside of school, she's even more awesome.
The thing that I always keep on like the back of my mind, whether it be for me, for another person, show up. Whatever that looks like to you, just show up, you know? Show up for your coworkers if that's what it takes. Show up for your students if that's what it takes. Show up for your family members if that's what it takes. Show up for yourself. In the showing up, the good stuff comes.